What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Fucking camera angle. There we go. Bios3 Raw TV. Today I'm going to answer a question I got in an email. And you know what? I never really even thought about addressing this, so it's a good thing that this person had emailed me and asked me this question. He wanted his name to be left out, and he said that, let's see, he says, he's been working out since he was around 16. He's 18 years old now. And he went from 95 pounds to 210 with 18-inch arms. So it's a good gain in 2 years. I mean, 210 at a 18-year-old kid, that's pretty big with 18-inch arms. He says that he put everything into getting bigger, and he honestly can't remember how small he was. And he always wanted to continue to better himself. He couldn't find the motivation to continue. His training partner's in the same spot. He finished high school last year, and he said he continued trying to train, but he still had a hard time finding motivation. He said it was because of social constraints, having the title of being the biggest guy and having to live up to it. And now he's in the university among 30,000 other people, and each day is different. He said, I'm not completely sure why I lacked motivation or had motivation, but my question is, how do you continue having the drive throughout the years? Now, here's the thing. When I was his age, 18 years old, I definitely made the gym a priority. The gym was what was important. So, like, my job, which wasn't a career, was an 18-year-old kid, was just a job. You know, I mean, my girlfriend at the time understood that, you know, I'm going to the gym, I have goals. But I was a competitive bodybuilder. So now, each year, now, what the hell is this? Lint. Each year, I would get ready for the next competition. So when one competition was over, because I started competing when I was 17, the next year, the next competition season was coming up very quickly. So now I had a short off season, or I have to decide if I want to take a longer off season, but I had to make improvements to be better for the next show. So the show was always my motivation. So I always had something there that was motivating me towards my next goal. And, you know, I had different body weight goals. I had different, body parts I wanted to bring up for the next show. I had, I wanted to improve my posing. I wanted to improve my color. All these different things, but I knew I only had a certain amount of time between when I was going to be done with one show and then I had the next one coming up, because I was committed to competing just about every year. I wanted to compete. I loved to compete. It was very cool to me, and it was the best thing in the world at the time. So I went to school. I went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, and while I was in school, I went for advertising design. I would go to class. I would, even in class, and even to this day, like, if I'm doing something, I'm still thinking about what I have to do at the gym. I'm still thinking about my workout. My workout actually begins the day before my workout. I'm already thinking about the workout, what the exercises I have to do, visualizing stuff that I have to do in the gym, how far I have to push myself to go to failure, if I'm going to go to failure, if I'm not going to go to failure. All these things take place way before you even hit the gym. So it's kind of a mentality that's all the time, but it's what I love to do. And it's always been what I love to do. So there's no having to find motivation to be able to do what you have to do. You have to get inspired somehow. Okay, and what was inspiring to me was people doing better at competitions, people doing well at competitions, people winning competitions. That was what inspired me to get motivated. So I was in college, or in school down in the Art Institute, and I would get my assignment, and I would leave, and I would go back to my dorm, I would eat a couple meals, take a nap, and then go train. Like, everything still revolved around training. And then when I got home, I decided, I left school. I said, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to do advertising. I want to be a personal trainer. When I left school and came back to Rhode Island, personal training is in the gym. Everything revolves around the gym. So I kind of pushed myself into that environment to where I would be in the gym all the time. And that would be, my lifeline. That would be what I did for a living. That would be what I would train because I love to do it. I would compete because I love to do it. So everything revolved around that, and that's the way I set my life up. Now, you're saying that you feel like you have to live up to being the biggest guy. So that's essentially your identity now. You're the big guy. You have to live up to it. And now you're in a big campus where there's probably bigger guys. So you maybe lack motivation because now you're like, oh man, I'm never going to be that big, or I'm never going to be that strong, or whatever. Whatever the case may be. But it depends on how much you want it and how much you love it. Now, there have been lots of times where different things in my life have run its course. Like, I wanted to be a professional skateboarder. That ran its course. I wanted to be play like an Aerosmith or Metallica in a band. That ran its course. I wanted to be a professional BMX rider. That ran its course. There's going to be things that run its course in your life that you're just not going to do for the rest of your life. This could be one of the things. You could have done it, and you're done with it now. That could be it. It very well could just be a low inside your training. There were times in high school where I backed off on training until I got a little smaller and a little smoother. Then I said, well, shit, I don't like this look, and I went back to the gym. It could be like that. I mean, there's different ways that you can approach how to get back into what you're doing. But the rotating schedule, I see, kind of throws you off too. But, you know, I didn't, and that's where I get, I guess, it depends on how much you want it. Because I was working at times, I worked at GNC, I worked at a gym, I had my own business at a gym, and I worked at a club at night. So I was working 4 jobs in a couple of those nights were at the club. So my schedule was I'd be there till like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I would still have to get up at 9 and do my cardio and get ready to compete because I was doing the Pittsburgh Championships. So the bottom line was my schedule rotated like that too. And there were times that I only got 3 or 4 hours sleep or 3 hours sleep or sometimes not even that because I couldn't fall asleep and I had to get up and do my cardio and then continue my day and go to my other jobs and train and eat and do everything I had to do. You just find a way to do it. It comes from in here, and if you love to do it, you'll find a way. It just depends on how bad you want it. I think the problem is you've never been in this predicament before, so you're kind of searching for a way to make a routine. And that's all it is. It's a matter of getting a routine. If you can stick to your routine, you'll be fine. But how bad do you want that routine? How bad do you want to continue to go to the gym? How bad do you want to find motivation? Because these are all things you have to do on your own. And since you're only 18 years old, you've got a long life to live ahead of you. And searching for motivation externally is not going to work. It doesn't work. That's bullshit. It's a short-term thing, and you'll find out real quick that if you want to do this for the next 30 years, that's not going to happen. Real motivation comes from in here. Inspiration comes from out there. Externally, inspiration. Internally, motivation. And that's how it works. So find out somehow to get inspired, something that inspires you, and then motivate yourself to get what you have to do done. Whether it's on a rotating schedule or not, you'll find a way to get it done. I mean, there's always ways. There's times that I worked jobs where I couldn't eat. I would take the meal in Tupperware and run to the bathroom, put the toilet seat down, sit on the toilet seat, eat my food in the stall. You know, you always find a way to get it done. And if you don't, maybe, and that's okay if you don't. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. It's just not what you were meant to do. biostreettraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostreettraining.com is the blog, and find a way to do it, bicep, and we're out.